the world that we live in now, especially now, where I feel like it's more, our thinking has become quite more individualistic way of thinking rather than communal way of thinking. Like we always think of ourselves and what we can get and what we can get and what we can get. And unfortunately, that is great because you need that as well. You need that self, like you need to push forward with that. We also need to think that we don't exist like individual, like we are not about, like we don't just exist by ourselves. We exist in the community. And for us to be happy, in a sense, if you are the only one that is successful in your family or in your, among your friends or among your community, I don't think it's great, because like it's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's so much better if everybody around you is either striving to be the best person that they can be, or everybody's kind of helping, you know, because sometimes you look at each other and you're pushing yourself and everybody's like, you know, not because you're in competition with anybody, not at all, but it's just like knowing that, you know what, I can be the best person of the best version of myself. It's so important, and then everybody keeps going. So I think it's the world that we live in, and for us as a community, I think one of the things that we also all need to kind of also try and engage in is the importance of the communal aspect of our existence as well, you know. And every little way that you can help someone, you know, try your best, make yourself available as much as you can, to, you know, be as supportive as you can. And then there's also someone there that you might also need, you know.
No, I 100% agree, because like you said, there's no good if just one person wins, because let's say the rest of our race is not going to benefit that, and that's what happens a lot of the time. When one person gets there, they don't try to bring everyone else in, or they look down on everyone else. Like I'm talking like celebrities and stuff like that, but we just gotta keep supporting each other.
Yeah, because it doesn't work in the long run. It will never work, because then the things that would happen is people would start criticizing you, like, oh yeah, look at you got there and you're not helping anybody, right? And then there's so much pressure on you to be the only person trying to help everybody as well, like in a different way.
Yeah,
see what I mean? Because then you are saying, then everybody's looking at you like, oh yeah, you know, we need this. Like it's like handouts, you know. I don't think you should be, you know what I mean, like handouts, or no, you give them as much, make yourself available, give them as much support you can, knowledge, you know, ideas, resources, whatever that you can. Just do that, and then, you know, make sure that everybody has the tools to, you know, get themselves to that level as well, elevate themselves as high as they can, you know, because it doesn't work. It's not sustainable, you know. We've seen it. I mean, we've seen it when you read history and everything, like the greatest empires, the greatest community. It was all about everybody just helping each other and pushing each other, you know, to be the best that everybody can be. And then by doing that, we are strong together and everybody is happy and successful.
Powerful. Motivational speaker. So how did you get to your role now?
So I start when I left uni. I think it was 2009, and I think you were very young anyway. You probably wouldn't remember this, but you probably would. But it was like the financial crash that happened in 2008. So I graduated in 2009, and there was no job. So I ended up staying in working in somewhere in Kent, and it was crazy because I would literally spend almost 45 hours every day traveling to work. I laugh so much to the point that whatever I was earning wasn't enough to cover my travel, that my dad had to subsidize me to even go to work, right? So anyway, so that is where it started. So I gained a bit of experience, and then I got a role in London finally. So yes, came back to London, worked a bit, in media for a bit, and then got another role in another media. No, I worked in media, and then I went into, I was working for an architecture and designs company, and then went back to media. And then I was like, I want to move out, go somewhere else. So then I kind of started looking at the professional services.
Yeah.
So then I applied for, because most of these roles nowadays it goes via the most recruitment agencies now. So then so I got my first gig in legal, and then I was there for like a year and a bit, and then I got this role, which I'm there. I'm almost next month in April, and next month is my second year now, and so the role has kind of evolved. So when I started as a management accountant, and then now I'm doing like the financial account, which is kind of a bit of the management accountant, but then you do a bit more reporting and
that's a mad story, man. That's a mad story. 4 to 5 hours. Wow.
Yeah, obviously not everybody's an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
I always say we are all not everybody's born. This is one of my beliefs anyway. Not everybody's born to be an entrepreneur, right? Some people are good 9 to 5. Some people are brilliant entrepreneurs, right? So for me, it was just more about gaining that experience gaining the experience in the corporate world and how the corporate world works. Because everywhere that then you apply for a job, they're like, oh yeah, we need an experience, and that was the only opportunity for me, was to do those journeys, those mad journeys, getting up early, getting home late, to try and get my dad to subsidize me to get my transport, to cover it, so that I can gain that experience, to be able to, when I'm applying for jobs, you're like, okay, I've got some experience. And it was for, in terms of my employment history, it was like that was the first block, that foundation of, you've got an experience, and then everybody that you talk to kind of start taking you a bit serious.
Yeah.
Because initially, when you are out of uni and you're saying stuff, they're like, yeah, he doesn't know, he's just talking.
So, how much do you get paid?
I'm making bags. Nah, I'm joking.
You're not joking.
No, so with my role, it ranges between, I'll give you a range. So you can get between 45 to 70K for my role, and literally around, most of it is around 55. So you can do the maths.
Yeah, it's beautiful money. I'll claim it in Jesus' name.
Yeah. When you finish paying, when the tax man takes some of it, you realize it's annoying, but yeah.
No, that's good, man. It's nice to hear that you're making the good money. What would you like to say for people who want to pursue something similar?
Yeah, I would say there is multiple routes to becoming an accountant, and I've learned that. So it's not always true. You don't have to go by the route of university like I did. So there are apprenticeships out there that they will take you. There's so many, like the typical accounting firms, they have these kind of apprenticeship where they take school leavers and stuff, and then they will train you, and then you become, like, gradually you become an accountant. So there's that route where you can go through the apprenticeship way, and then you can kind of build yourself up. And then there's the university way. So for anybody that wants to pursue a career as an accountant, there's those kind of ways, and you see because some people find it more beneficial, apprenticeship way, which I think is a little bit advantageous, in the sense that you would be studying and then working at the same time. So you don't get that whole thing that you finish uni after 3 years or 4 years, and then you come out and then they're like, oh, you haven't got an experience, right? And then you've got, but with the apprenticeship, you gain the experience, you go to school as well. So you're doing both of them, and it's cheaper.
It's true.
I say it's cheaper because the firms that takes you on kind of covers your costs and stuff like that. But in the same way as well, the uni side is also good, because you learn so much about yourself as well. I think for me, aside from obviously the professional side of actually learning the course and everything, you also learn so much about yourself, independence, especially if you don't live from, like, if you moved away and went to uni and all of that. So yes, all I would say is we all just, strive to be the best that we can and, support each other and be our brother's keeper. As someone said, one wise person said to me, be your brother's keeper. Be there, try and be there as much for one another, because that's the only way we can thrive as a community and, excel in everything that we do and try and leave those negative stereotypes behind.
Do you think it's time for us Black people to create our own story? And if so, why?
I think it's an interesting question. I genuinely believe we've always been creating our own stories. I think the stories has always been there. Like, there is so many amazing Black people doing incredible things out there, changing the world. But one of the key things is there is no exposure, right? You don't get, the exposure is not there. But now I think the key thing is where social media, for example, is available right now. You doing your thing, you've opened this amazing platform where people talk about their experiences and life and everything that they're going through and to try and think. So you, for example, this is an amazing platform to be able to showcase Black excellence, yourself and everybody that comes on there. So we've always been doing great things, but the biggest thing was the lack of exposure. And now where we've got the tools that we can actually put it out there, that's what we should be doing more, the showcasing the excellencies that we already have and then being better and then showing the world that, we are the best of the bunch as well. We are also up there, we have talent like everybody else. We excel like everybody else. We are not just entertainers and sportsmen and women. We build things, we design things. We change the world. We bring medicine. We do a lot more than what the world wants the world to think. That the narrative that is being created for us. So the key is the exposure and trying to put the light out there, the positive light, the amazing things that we are doing and showcasing it to the whole world, letting everybody know that we are amazing as well.
Big, that's very big. Final words for your people.
For my people. Yeah, I think, like I said earlier on, I think in life, what we all need to realize is we are all running our own individual race, but in the same way, our success shouldn't be just for us. Our success should be for our communities. Our achievement is to, is to help everybody around us to be better, to motivate, to encourage, to be a tool, to allow yourself to kind of just to make sure that whatever God has put in you as a person, you'd leave this world empty. You make sure that you leave everything here. Someone says the most amazing ideas is in the grave. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we leave it here. We leave a legacy. So my message has always been the same, that, you are running your race. Try and be the best person that you can. You are not competing with anybody by yourself to be the best version of yourself. Try and leave a positive impact. Make yourself as a tool for people to use as much, in a positive way. Encourage people as much as you can, and also seek help where necessary when you need it.